Okay, so let's not give the Trump administration that much credence or credit because they're not anticipating the Supreme Court to overturn birthright citizenship. I watched the oral arguments, and during the oral arguments, all 9 justices, including the extreme conservative, Justice Alito, Justice Thomas, and Justice Gorsuch, all acknowledged during the oral arguments that the birthright citizenship is a right. So I don't think they're going to return that. They are doing these procedural wins. Procedural wins mean essentially pausing. And there's a long video that I'm going to do later on to explain that, so watch that. But I just want you to know that the reason why they lose in courts is because they don't follow process and procedures. And let me give you some examples. Donald Trump tried to sue Wall Street Journal. The law requires before you sue a media entity, you need to give them 4 days advance notice in Florida before you actually file your suit. They didn't do that. So on procedural grounds alone, that case could be tossed out for just on procedural reasons. Secondly, the alligator Alcatraz case, also in Florida, requires before the federal government to build or do anything, any project that may impact the environment, to do an environmental impact statement, an impact project or assessment, which can take months, years, decades even possibly. And the Trump administration didn't do that, just built the facilities. They got permits without following the right process. They built it really quickly because they just bypassed the law, and they're getting pulled back because they're violate the law, and the plaintiffs are saying you need to do proper process. Kristi Noem revoked the temporary protective status of a bunch of people because she's racist. And she said a bunch of racist stuff about the white replacement theory, like all these people coming to replace whites. The law requires 60 days advance notice before you revoke any TPS, and it has to be for a reason. And it must be revoked on a person-by-person basis. You can't do blanket TPS revocation on bank. You can't do it without 60 days notice, and it has to be for a reason. It can't be because you're racist and you don't want more people of color coming here. So that's going to be pulled back. Because of that, they don't follow process and procedures. So they don't do any processes properly. And a lot of the laws require anything that's going to be changed, is going to disrupt anything requires a full record being built, requires notice and public comment. That's why previous administrations haven't done the type of things the Trump administration is trying to do, because they don't want to take the time to build the record. That takes a long time, and they just have other priorities. The Trump administration is just doing it without doing the proper process, and that's why they keep getting stopped in courts. And you'll see MAGA in the wild saying the courts are activist, the courts are liberal. No, the courts are following the law. The Trump administration is lawless and don't follow the law and don't follow the Constitution, and they spitting in the faces of the founders, because the founders put all these things in play, right? So they call themselves patriots, but they're not. They're MAGA cultists. So anyway, so that's that. Don't give them more credit, that they don't know more. They're not playing chess, 4D chess. They're just throwing things and see what sticks. Like, that's what's going on. Hope that helps. Each one teach one.